Hello, my name is Ryan Lawless, and I'm with Family Missions Company. I'm a missionary, and I'm going to talk about my call to mission. Early this year, 2012, I've heard about missions before, and I started getting this just feeling in my stomach and my heart that where I was going was just not where I should be. My heart was starting to change. I started feeling this transformation happening already in me. And I didn't know where I was going quite yet. I knew that God was calling me to something better and something new, with a greater zeal, but I hadn't quite found it yet. And I heard about Family Missions Company, and I knew that in the summertime, this come and see was coming up, where I had this opportunity to finally go and check them out, get experience with them in prayer and discernment, what they're all about and what they're going to be doing. And when the summer came and August came and I was able to make the come and see, I had the most incredible experience of the come and see, just with the community I was with, and just the daily prayer, and just everything we got to do in the service projects, and just in the one-on-ones we had together with the directors and the community there. It was such a blessing. That Friday that I was there, we did a rosary, and I remember specifically after the rosary we did the St. Michael the Archangel prayer. And it's a prayer I didn't know. I've heard of it before, but I didn't know it by heart, and everybody was just saying it. So I told myself inside that I'm going to learn this prayer when I get home on Monday. This was Friday. I'm going to learn this prayer when I get home, and I'm going to print it out, and I'm going to learn it so I can have it memorized next time I do this. And so the weekend went on, and I'm constantly asking God to show me, please, Lord, show me what you want me to do, because I don't know how to hear you. I need you to show me a sign or something. The struggle I've always had is knowing when the Lord is speaking to me. And so I've been constantly asking all weekend for signs, something, show me something. And so Monday comes along, and I go home. I come back from the come and see, and I go home. I walk into my house, and the St. Michael the Archangel prayer was sitting on my table. This piece of paper was just sitting here, just that prayer on my table. And I was blown away. I couldn't believe it. I was like, what, Lord? Oh my God. I started jumping up and down. I was like, what is this? Oh my God, this is really happening. The Lord actually He actually showed me a sign. And so it was funny because I called my friend and I asked her, I was like, how did you know I needed this prayer? And she was like, I didn't, she was taking care of my house. That's why she was over there. I was like, how did you know I needed this prayer? She's like, I didn't know you needed it. I came over and I had this book in my hand. I put it on the table. When I put it on the table, the prayer fell on the table. And so I just left it there, and I grabbed my book and I left, and I just left it there, and I was like, that is crazy. I just couldn't believe how the Lord was working. And then, and furthermore, my struggle as I am is not always trusting in what I see. And so I was like, yeah, that's amazing. And then, maybe it was just a, coincidence. And so that was Monday. On Wednesday, I'm still struggling with Lord, are you really calling me here? Are you really calling me here? And on Wednesday morning, I woke up, I was praying a lot, just hard praying. So I went to Mass, and when I got there, the priest read this reading from Luke, and I'm gonna read it real quick. It's the one where he says, Jesus said to him, the man comes up and says, I will follow you wherever you go. And Jesus says to him, foxes have holes and birds of the air have nests, but the Son of Man has nowhere to lay his head. And he continues further along, and he says, to another, he said, follow me, and the Lord. But he said, Lord, but let me first go and bury my father. But he said to him, leave the dead to bury their own dead. But as for you, go and proclaim the kingdom of God. And so I was just struck by that reading, first of all, because of its call to go and proclaim the kingdom of God, but also because that past weekend, I was talking to the director, Joseph Summers, about, where the Lord was calling me and my concerns and so forth. And I brought up this concern about my own family, what if something happens to my family? What if I need to go back? And he brought up this reading. He said, he says that may the dead bury the dead. Not in a cruel way at all, but in this just loving way, if you're called to serve God, then that's it. This is where you should be. If you're called to proclaim the gospel, then you should be here. This is where he's calling you. This is what's first. So this came up to my head again. When the priest read this reading, I was like, this is it, right? And so once again, I go home and I start looking up the reading. I'm going to reflect on it some more. And another miracle of God, I think, is that basically I looked up the reading, and that was not the reading for the day. I went to Mass that day, expecting just to go to Mass and experience Mass. And the Lord put that reading in my life so that I would hear the call to missions. So I heard the Lord call me. He said, go and sell everything you have. And so now I am here. I am a Catholic missionary.